I was reading something today and it has really resonated. So think about this. 2,000 years ago, Paul wrote about the exact kind of teachers and pastors and influencers that so many are going to follow today. 2,000 years ago, he talked about that, okay? So what I read today came from 2 Timothy chapter 4, and verses 3 and 4 are specific to what he's talking about. And I'll read that to you. It says, "For a time is coming," listen, "a time is coming when people will no longer listen to sound and wholesome teaching. They will follow their own desires, and they'll look for teachers who will tell them whatever their itching ears want to hear. They will reject the truth and chase after myths." I don't know about you, but that really sounds familiar to me right now. We have an overabundance of people standing in pulpits, people that are standing in a place that they've created for themselves, to become influencers. And I find that's aptly named so often, influencers. People that are teaching. So that means that they are equipping others to think the way they think. And it's not that those roles are bad, because we need teachers. We need people who can influence in a way that's teaching, in a way that's edifying and encouraging and building up. And we absolutely need pastors that are going to be the shepherd for God's people, right? So all of those are good things, but it's always with the enemy. There's always going to be the perversion of what God has created things or designed things to be. So Paul said, he told Timothy 2,000 years ago that a time was coming for this. Well, I think the time is here, but I won't just leave you there with that. He also, in the very next verse, gives a little bit of an explanation of some steps to take when you realize that and you're part of it. So I'll read that to you. So 2 Timothy chapter 4, verse 5. "But you should keep a clear mind in every situation." Okay, I'm not finished yet, but think about that for a second. Keep a clear mind in every situation. Okay? Don't be afraid of suffering for the Lord. And I think that's a huge one for many of us, is the fear of suffering and what that really can mean when we suffer for the Lord. And then work at telling others the good news and fully carry out the ministry God has given you. So if you feel led into a ministry of the Lord, and that doesn't mean you're becoming a pastor, preacher, whatever. It doesn't mean that that's necessarily your calling in a ministry for the Lord, but it means that you would be stepping out and you're speaking and teaching and talking to people about the Lord, and you're trying to share the good news with them. So I mean, what I'm doing here is considered a ministry, which is interesting to me, but there's a responsibility to that and what we share. So I want to always share what is coming from God's Word and not just from me. But so many of this becomes so relatable to me in my personal life, so that's why I try to hop on and share that real quick. And if it's something that speaks to others, then that is wonderful. If not, that's okay too. But I just wanted to bring that up because I've read that before and heard it before and I've thought it before, but it was something really deeper for me today to think about the fact that, yeah, I really think that we're here right now. There's so many people that claim to follow Christ, and some of the things they say just is proof to me that they're more concerned about being liked, or they're more concerned with how people can advance them because they're showing a manipulative side to them to try to make people feel better. And if that's not pointing people to God, if that's not teaching the truth about the Lord, it is doing nobody any good. So that is not love. One thing that I can remember that has kind of stuck with me is a good reminder of how to share things with people, and that is truth without love is mean. And we have a lot of that today too, truth without love. So people just like, well, that's the truth, and that's what it, okay, well, that's great. But if you say it without love, it's just mean, right? But love without truth is meaningless. And it's really not love. So if you're just trying to make people feel comfortable just so they feel better, but there's no truth in it, it's not love, and it's meaningless. It means nothing. There's no eternal perspective on that. So I'm going to go and sit with this for a little bit and abide in that.